Well, I don't know how many times I have to say it, but I'll go to my grave saying that the meat eating thing is probably the most overlooked topic in our history. Because the main thing to understand is whether you think meat is good for you or if you're against it, the main thing to understand is your anatomy and physiology is that of a frugivore. Just take a look at your intestines, your fingernails, your saliva, your stomach acid pH, everything that a frugivore is, we are as well. Frugivores eat, not just fruit, but they'll eat vegetables, leafy greens, etc., and legumes and stuff too. So, pretty much my diet. And we don't really have to eat as much as we've been told, and we could just get by with eating fruits, legumes, nuts, seeds, leafy greens, veggies, and 1 or 2 meals a day, tops, clean water. This is what our body thrives on, right? And you have really healthy people out there who look healthy, right? Who work out, they're in shape, they run, they're ripped, but they eat a bunch of meat, right? So you're not gonna know what their real health is because you don't know what their blood tests look like. They might have high cholesterol, high blood pressure. You can look good and be fit, but you don't know what the blood tests look like. And the reason why their blood tests are not going to be as good compared to someone who is not, polluting their blood with animal fat and all that cholesterol-laden food and dairy and stuff is because the anatomy and physiology thrives on not having those foods, not ingesting those foods, because we're not supposed to be ingesting those foods. Now you can get away with it for a long time. You can it's very cumulative because the plant foods that people eat, like a lot of times you have somewhat healthy people who eat meat but they eat a lot of plants too, and so they have a lot of salad and stuff, and they work out, so they can live a long life. The plant foods are unclogging their arteries and helping their digestive system and their colon and their gut health and their microbiome. All the plant foods and salads that they're eating are balancing them out a little bit, right? So they can get away with it for a long time. So, they could live long lives, right? And they're never going to understand that they didn't need that flesh and dairy the entire time. They're thinking that it's the meat that got them to that point. There's no evidence of that, and the evidence is, look at our anatomy and physiology. That's like if you were to ask me, well, what's your evidence that the plant-based diet or veganism is the best one for us? It's because I know what our anatomy and physiology is. It's that of a frugivore. So anything else is literally like violating natural law. The laws of nature, the law of your anatomy, the law of your physiology. And natural law is mainly about property rights and the right to live without someone violating or stealing from you, right? Violating your property rights. But once you start hacking off the heads of innocent animals because you feel better after having that stimulant, meat is a stimulant, it's loaded with hormones and stress hormones and cortisol and oxidized adrenaline. It's a stimulating meal, right? So you might feel better, right? But people feel better after drinking alcohol and snorting cocaine too. So it doesn't mean that those things are good for you. It just means you're stimulated, right? So my position is evidence-based. you can talk about all the studies in the world. You can talk about literally hundreds and thousands of studies showing that flesh eating is linked to cancer and heart disease and type 2 diabetes and shortened lifespan, right? And other things like just, obesity and baldness and things like that come with having a high acid forming diet. Acids burn, so you're not going to have your hair as much, and you're going to have a little gut because that meat is putrefying in you and it can't get out. It's not water based like a lot of fruits and vegetables are. They're just going to get in and out, right? We have long intestines. It takes a long. We have long intestines designed to absorb plant matter, right, slowly, and get all those nutrients from it. With flesh, it's stuck. It's like the plumber. Call the plumber. Look at bacon fat. People are like, oh, primal, and you need all your butter and saturated fat. Bacon fat doesn't even. It gets clogged in the sink. So what do you think it's doing to your body, which is a frugivore body? You wonder why it's linked to colon cancer, because your colon, it's like the sink. This is not rocket science. So I won't go too long in this video. I'm going to end it right here. But it's mind-boggling to me. I think my point of view is very rational, very reasonable. That, first of all, I don't have the right to just go hacking off the heads of innocent animals just because I want to eat their flesh, right? I don't have the right to do that. I don't have the right to violate natural law. I mean, I saw a truck driving earlier that had 3 huge moose heads with big antlers, and he had already carved out their flesh, and it was just down to the bone, and he was parading them in the back of his truck, like he had obviously just got back from some hunting trip. And I went by him, and I was like, fuck you, dude, you don't have the right to do that, and then where's the justice for that? Where's the, it's karma. It's just gonna, it might be legal because our society is very immoral, and there's lots of immoral violations of natural law that are legalized. Doesn't mean they're lawful. The big difference between legal and lawful. Law is based on common law and property. Common law is based on natural law and property rights. Your rights to your body, your property, right? So just because hunting is legal doesn't mean shit. You're gonna accumulate a whole lot of bad karma, as well as continuing to be a meat eater. Once you know that it's something that is not morally acceptable, because there are alternatives to eat, and it's not the only thing you have to eat, and then you understand the anatomy and physiology, how we are exactly a match for frugivore, at that point, you should make a change. And if it's hard for you to quit something, then you need to detox from it and just do a fruit diet, cleanse to start off, and just flush the microbiome and start over. You're going to have the same muscles, but you're going to have more endurance and better recovery, and just you'll lose weight too. And I've been able to keep my muscle on for years. If you need a little more protein or something, there's vegan protein powders, right? I don't even barely use any supplements. I have my microdose. I have the mushrooms and things like that. A few different things that I just add to my smoothies and stuff. But it depends on what your goal is. If you're trying to lean up or add muscle, it can all be attained on a plant-based diet, because that is our species-specific diet. So, best of luck.